Bishu, the farmer, and the fear of hell. Many years ago, there lived in China a farmer. His name was Visu. The whole day he was working in his rice field so that his wife and children had enough to eat. He also brought every year some sacks of rice to the monastery so that the monks had something to eat. One day, an old monk from the monastery who had observed the farmer Vishu for many years came to his field and said to him, Vishu, I have seen that you're working the whole day in your field, but you never come to the temple to pray. You just leave the sack of rice in the monastery and then you walk away. Vishu replied, If you had a wife and many children to feed, you also would never have time to pray. I have to work on my field to grow the rice that you get for free, so you can spend the whole day praying. This remark made the old monk angry, and he began scaring the farmer with a vivid description of hell. If you don't pray, you will be thrown into hell. There you will suffer eternally. You will be burned with fire. You will have to eat rotten flesh. And then all these horrors scared Vishnu to death, and he said, I promise you, venerable sir, that from now on I will pray every day. The old monk was satisfied and walked away. From that day on, Vishnu did nothing but pray and pray and pray. He prayed all day long and did not work any more on his feet, so that his rice crops withered and his wife and children starved. Vishnu's wife became angry and shouted, Vishnu, look at the thin bodies of your children. They have nothing to eat. Do something useful and work in the field and stop that useless mumbling of prayers. Vishnu became angry. Woman, you don't know what you are saying. Saving my soul from hell is more important than growing rice. You want me to suffer in hell. I will have nothing more to do with you. Vishnu got up, but without looking back to his wife and children, he left the hut and went into a thick wood. There he climbed up a mountain, where a mist hid him from sight. When Vishnu had seated himself upon the mountain and praying, he heard a soft rustling sound, and saw a fox dart into a thicket. Vishnu thought, seeing a fox brings luck. And forgetting his prayers, he sprang up and ran hither and thither in the hope of again finding this little creature. Suddenly, he came to a cave. There he saw two ladies sitting motionless in deep meditation. The farmer became so completely fascinated that he also sat down and watched them. There was no sound except the soft running water of a nearby waterfall. The ladies took no notice of Vishnu, for they seemed to be entirely absorbed in their meditation. Vishnu could not keep his eyes off these women. He watched their long black hair and their slender bodies. Time passed, but to Vishnu it seemed but a summer's afternoon. Then he saw that one of the women opened her eyes and turned to him. Vishnu exclaimed, Most lovely lady, who are you? In a moment, the two ladies turned into foxes and ran away. Visu tried to pursue them, but he felt with horror that his legs were terribly stiff. He saw his hair was very long and that his beard touched the ground. After many painful efforts, Visu was able to stand on his feet, and very slowly he walked back to his little home. When he reached the spot where he knew his hut was, he was surprised to see no hut. He saw an old woman and asked her, "Good lady, I'm amazed to find that my little home has disappeared. I was away just this afternoon, and now, in the evening, it has vanished." The old woman saw the madman was standing in front of her. She asked, "What is your name?" "My name is Visu," she exclaimed. "Ha ha 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 ha! Pah! You must indeed be mad. A certain Visu lived 300 years ago in this place. An old story said that one day he went away and never came back again." 300 years? Murmured Visu. Impossible. Where are my dear wife and my children? Buried, hissed the old woman, and your children's children too. The gods have prolonged your miserable life in punishment for having abandoned your wife and little children. Big tears ran down Visu's withered cheeks. I have prayed to save my soul, but that praying has cut the lives of my wife and children. The old woman said, "Yes, they starved to death because of you." We do not know how long Visu lived after he returned from his strange adventures. His ghost is still said to haunt the place where the moon shines bright. What do we learn from the story? First, priests and monks always want other people to live as they live, spending the whole day praying and thinking about God. But someone has to produce the rice they are eating. Second, during the whole history of humanity, what was the means to force people to conform? Scaring them to death with hell. Third, Visu fell from one extreme into the other extreme. First he was working the whole day without dedicating a moment to his inner life. Then he fell into the other extreme, only praying, no working anymore, neglecting his field and his family. What shall we do? Avoid the extremes. Work and meditate.